Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. I know it's a day late, but Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0. And what did I say? I said I was quite positive in terms of what my predictions were. I thought United were going to win the game. I said 2-1. And I also didn't rule out the possibility that City could go and smash United 4-0. However, Manchester United and Michael Carrick, wow, 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 wow. Exceptional performance from Manchester United. I don't see, I didn't see a foot wrong from any player, really, And when looking at this game, Manchester United turned up, and that is what we need to see from United from every single game now in the Premier League. That's all we've got. We've only got the Premier League to fight for. We've only got a few things going for us. There's obviously not much. How would we say it? There's not many things. Well, let's put it bluntly, United aren't in anything, aren't they? Except from the Premier League. That's the only kind of title race that United. Oh, not title. Why am I saying that? United are only in the Champions League, or in the fight for the Champions League, should I say? Not in the Champions League. Um, I just think in terms of how United were yesterday, the way they set up, the formation, the substitutions, everything was perfect from Michael Carrick. So I'm absolutely over the moon. I thought United started the game well. It should have. I think we had the chance where Maguire hit the bar. I thought Maguire probably should have scored with that, obviously, to get away from Haaland. I didn't even realize Haaland was playing, and that's no disrespect to Haaland and me being biased, but Haaland wasn't involved in that game at all. I think he had one opportunity, didn't he, or something? Um, where Sen Levens made a great save, and that was fantastic from him. I thought the defense, especially Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez, I thought they dealt with City's attacking players amazingly. I thought Luke Shaw had a very good game, and Delo. I'll come on to the red card. Was it a red card or not? In a second, but I thought Delo had an okay game. He's like, I'm not gonna say because I don't really rate Delo. I would say he was probably our worst player on the pitch yesterday. However, he did have an okay game. And then onto his red card, his yellow card, possibly red card. I, in the moment of the game, I said it wasn't a yellow card. I said it was a yellow card. It wasn't a red card. But I think now watching back at the game and how I've seen Match of the Day and I've watched the slow motion things, it's got to be a red card. I think United are very lucky not to be down in 10 men there. I thought he's won the ball. That's what could save him. But what the Premier League have said that he's glanced at the player. I mean, if you look at Diego Dalot, he's not looked at Doku at all, and I think it's a poor decision from VAR not to give him the red card. And I thought United are very, very lucky not to be 10, going down to 10 then, even though we didn't. And I thought City were, even if City were to have 10 men, United were to have 10 men and City with the 11, I just think City weren't that amazing. City weren't good yesterday, and United took full advantage for that. And I think United should have probably won the game about 5-0. The Cunha goal, the Cunha offside for Mason Mount's ruled third goal, a chalked off third goal. I thought that was a bit harsh for Mateus Cunha. It looks onside from the angle that I can see and from a lot of you guys can see, but VAR obviously have chalked it off. But 2-0, we can't argue with that. And now we United are sat joint fourth with Liverpool. Obviously, them slipping up yesterday at Anfield against Bournemouth, drawing 1-1. I think. Why do I keep saying Bournemouth? Burnley. Um, yeah, that was fantastic. Obviously, it's Liverpool slipping there, and United obviously punishing City and getting a really, really good dominant derby win. I didn't think it would be as dominant as if we United were to win. I didn't think it would be as dominant as it was. Like United had a great amount of chances. They had 3 goals chalked off, didn't we? 2 in the first half. I thought, you know, I think the goals that were chalked off in the first half, we probably should have been onside, and I thought Mbeumo had one chance as well that he probably should have taken, but I think it was Krushinov with a crucial tackle, really. That was fantastic defending from him. He was probably the City's bright spark in the game, really, and Donnarumma had a fantastic game. I think he made that one save where it was kind of reaction, like, he went like that or something, and then from Mbeumo's shot in the second half, which was fantastic to see. And even the Casemiro one where his frame has just saved the ball from going in the back of the net. So Donnarumma had a very good game for Man City, but overall, I think there United were fantastic. And on terms of, I'm going to do the player ratings now. I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to go from the manager. Really, I think Carrick, he gave probably a no nonsense kind of mindset that there's no, you've got to go into the game and you've got to do whatever. You've got to play with the freedom. We're only in the Premier League now. This is our fight for the Champions League, so we've got to take it to all the other teams, or even we've got to make our own stance and say, look, we are Manchester United. We are going to get top four and outright get top four, not just scrape it on the final day. I thought it was excellent from Carrick. uh, we can't get ahead of ourselves. That's the main thing. We cannot get ahead of ourselves. If we get ahead of ourselves, we'd be like, give Carrick the job. And we did that under Ollie. And look what happened with Ollie. We all love him because of what he did in '99. However, we've got to stay level headed and be like, look, it's a great win, but we've got to go follow it up against Arsenal. Away at the Emirates will be a tough game, and I will be doing a preview for that game later on in the week. So definitely check that out. I think we'll get a draw out at the Emirates. I know it's a bold statement, but you know, against bigger teams, United do turn up. So hopefully we can get a draw there, but that's for another video. Um, in terms of what Carrick did in terms of his rating, I'll probably give him an 8 out of 10. It was fantastic for him. I thought the team selection was fantastic. Dorgu on the left wing, I think it gave us better defensive structure. Obviously with Semenyo on the right, and obviously the switching with Doku as well. I think Dorgu, obviously, he's more of a, he can play defensive, as we all know, but he is very offensive. I thought having that there, United could fit into a back five system when we're under the cosh, and it worked fantastically well. And Semenyo didn't really do much. He scored a great goal with Bournemouth against United, but again with City, he looked non-existent in that game. He didn't really challenge United's back four, which was kind of surprising. I thought City were going to have more chances than they should have had, but it was the other way around. United had more chances. United were amazing in that game, and you can say Manchester is red for the time being. I thought it was fantastic from Dorgu. I thought Cunha, when he came on, was probably the right decision against those. I think when United are against the bigger teams, or not bigger teams, the better team, should we say, like the Liverpool, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, we should probably play Dorgu on the left because it helps us defensively. And we know how good Dorgu is at crossing, because I think he had quite a few crosses where it was just first time and he was there, and we got his goal, which was fantastic. And let's go on to the player ratings in terms of United's of the players, right? So Senna Lemons, I'd give you a 7. Very good. Did what he needed to do. I thought he was fantastic in terms of how we needed to set up and how he just dominated that kind of the ball and his area. I thought Haaland didn't really have any headers, and he made probably one mistake giving that corner from, I don't know who had the shot. Was it Reinders who had the shot where it was definitely going wide, but then he accidentally touched the ball, but that doesn't matter. He had a very good game, clean sheet, can't argue with that. Only our third clean sheet of the season as well. Diego Dalot, probably a 6, bang average. Maguire, very, very good. I thought his aerial presence was amazing, and that's what we've missed, in terms of aerial presence without De Ligt and Maguire. So Maguire, I'd give you a 7. Lisandro Martinez, he's got Haaland in his pocket. Didn't notice Haaland were playing, really, and Martinez, fantastic. So a 7. Luke Shaw, very, very good from Luke Shaw. I'd give him a 7. Casemiro made a great challenge for on Haaland, and that, I think that's what set one of our attacks up. Yeah, it set up one of the attacks which probably should have led to a goal for United. So Casemiro 7. Kobbie Mainoo, fantastic all over the pitch, controlled the ball amazingly. I'd probably give Kobbie Mainoo a 7 again. Ahmad, it's great to have him back. Same with Mbeumo. Ahmad should have probably scored. He hit the post, obviously, in the second half, which should have probably gone in. He had one goal chalked off for being offside. Ahmad, 7. Brilliant from him. Bruno Fernandes, great to have him back. Um, great to have not what am I talking about? Great to have Bruno obviously back since the Burnley game, and I thought Bruno fantastic. Got an assist for Mbeumo's goal, dictated the play, and it just shows that Bruno Fernandes. I'm going to say it's going to be a bold statement. Bruno Fernandes is probably the best 10 in the Premier League. So in his rating, an 8. Um, Out of 10 for Bruno Fernandes. Patrick Dorgu, probably give an 8 as well. Fantastic. Got a goal, got the goal that secured the win. Fantastic defensively, great offensively. There's not much more you can really say about Dorgu. 8 out of 10. And Buemo getting his goal, and how much we've missed Buemo is huge. You know, got the goal to make it 1-0. Probably could have had a few more goals, really. So with Mbeumo, I'd probably give him an 8 out of 10. And if I'm going to go with the man of the match, I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes with the man of the match. I thought he was fantastic. Um, 8 out of 10 performance that I gave him. And I thought, he just dictated the play and that's what we needed. Mason Mount, obviously unlucky not to score. I thought it was very harsh. The offside that was given against Mateus Cunha, probably a 6. Didn't really do much. Obviously, coming in the 91st minute, you're not expected to do amazing when you're already 2-0 up. Cunha, I'd probably give a 6. 6.5 is just giving Cunha, I think it was very harsh, that offside. I don't know if it actually is offside because I've not drawn the lines, but, it's given offside. We've got to move on. I thought Cunha had a very good game, so 6.5 for Cunha. Manuel Ugarte came on the 81st minute, didn't really do much. The game was probably already won then, so we had to do defensively, so 6. Aiden Heaven came on the 91st minute, so probably 6 as well. He obviously just comes on just to give him some minutes for Aiden Heaven, and I thought he had a fantastic game. Um, it was a great performance from Manchester United. Just to sum it around this reaction off. But United now joint 4th with Liverpool, obviously we're 5th, but we've got to back this up now, and we've got to keep this energy, this professionalism, the clinicalness in front of goal. United have got to keep doing that from the start in any game now, and obviously Arsenal next week. We've got to. I know it will be hard, and I think we will get a result there. It's a bold statement, but I think we will get a result there. And then obviously after Arsenal, I think it's Bournemouth. No, Fulham, sorry, should I say. So, but they're the type of games, the Fulhams, the West Hams, where we've got to go beat the teams like that. Everton as well. We've got to beat those type of teams now. And, I think Michael Carrick, I don't want to see him get the job because I just think we need someone who's world class like Ancelotti. But, very well done to Michael Carrick. And, I think there's a bit of that kind of happiness has been restored with United. I don't want to say 100% it's been restored. I think there's definitely bright days ahead for United, and yeah, it was a brilliant win. I do feel that the Delo yellow card should have been a red, definitely, because um, it was cynical, yeah, cynical, and it is endangering the player at the end of the day. But yeah, that is everything for today. I know it was a bit late. Sorry about that. I am feeling a bit under the weather right now. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, and share it to all your family members and friends. But yeah, catch you all in a bit.